Welcome back to Vuln Vibes. It's time for another deep dive into the wild world of cybersecurity. This time we're taking a look at
Ivanti.
Connect Secure.
Ah, yeah.
You know those VPN appliances that businesses use?
Right.
So these things are super important for secure remote access.
Absolutely. They're like the gatekeepers for all the important company stuff.
Precisely. So imagine this.
Okay.
You're playing your favorite video game. You're about to win.
Yep.
Take down the final boss.
Right.
And then bam.
Was.
Someone finds a secret back door.
Uh-oh.
Steals all your loot.
No way.
That's what a zero-day exploit feels like.
That sucks.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're talking about today.
With Ivanti.
Ivanti Connect Secure.
That's a good analogy, actually, because it really highlights that vulnerability.
It does.
Like you said, ICS acts like a tunnel.
A fortified tunnel.
Yes, a fortified tunnel for employees to access all the company resources remotely. But in this case, somebody found a secret passage.
A vulnerability.
Yeah. Right, a vulnerability that lets them bypass all those security measures.
Okay, so before we dive into all the technical details,
Okay.
can we break down what a zero-day exploit actually is?
Sure. Imagine you have a house with all the latest security systems, strong locks, motion sensors.
Maybe even laser beams.
Yeah, even laser beams. But then someone finds a blueprint with a hidden passage, a vulnerability that leads right into your vault.
And the architects didn't even know about it.
Exactly. That's what a zero-day exploit is. It's a software flaw that's unknown to the developers.
Which means?
Which means there's no patch, no fix. Systems are wide open to attack until it's discovered.
And addressed.
Right.
Okay, so in this case, Ivanti disclosed two vulnerabilities.
Two.
Yeah. CVE-2025-0282 and CVE-2025-0282. What makes them so dangerous?
Well, let's start with CVE 2025-0282. This is the one that's actively being exploited right now.
In the wild.
It's a type of vulnerability called a stack-based buffer overflow. You can think about it like stuffing too many clothes into a suitcase. If you force it, things will start to spill out.
They get mixed up.
Yeah, and maybe even break the zipper.
Right.
So in this case, hackers are sending specially crafted data to the ICS appliance.
Good.
It overflows the memory buffer, and essentially it hijacks the normal operations.
And then they execute their own malicious code.
Precisely. And they can do this remotely.
Without needing passwords or authentication.
Exactly.
So they're waltzing right through the front door.
Pretty much.
While the security system is clueless.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So once they're in,
they can potentially take full control of the system. Now, CVE 2025-0283 is a little different. This one's a cross-site scripting.
XSS.
Right, or XSS vulnerability. It's more like leaving a trapdoor open for someone to sneak in later.
Okay.
So attackers could use this to trick users into giving away their credentials.
Which then gives them
a foothold into the system.
That's not good. Well, speaking of attackers, Mandiant.
The cybersecurity firm.
Yeah, the cybersecurity firm that investigated this uncovered a whole set of tools that were being used.
Ah, interesting.
Some of them were familiar.
Like what?
Like the Spawn ecosystem.
Okay.
But then there were some new players as well.
I see.
Yeah. So tell me about that.
So you've got the usual suspects like Spawnit, SpawnMole, SpawnSnail.
Okay.
These are tools designed to establish backdoors.
And maintain that persistent access.
Right, like setting up secret tunnels within the system. But then you've got Dryhook and PhaseJam. These are brand new.
Especially PhaseJam.
It's pretty sophisticated.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say PhaseJam sounds super intriguing. It sounds like something out of a spy movie.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So this malicious script has a couple of clever tricks. First, it blocks system updates.
So it's preventing Ivanti from patching the vulnerability.
And kicking the attackers out. It's like changing the locks while the burglars are still inside.
Oh, wow.
Then PhaseJam installs backdoors.
But they're disguised.
As legitimate system processes.
Like planting a spy.
In your own security team.
Wow. That's super sneaky. It's like they're playing digital hide and seek, but with extremely high stakes.
Right.
And you mentioned some specific files that PhaseJam tampers with.
Yes, PhaseJam modifies two files in particular, getComponent.cgi and reseauth.cgi.
Okay.
These files control important functions within the ICS appliance. By injecting a Perl-based web shell into them, they essentially create a hidden backdoor.
And that gives them remote control.
Of the entire system.
That level of detail is really incredible. It's like finding a fingerprint at a crime scene. You know, it tells you a lot about how the attacker works. So we've got this serious vulnerability. We've got these advanced tools. Who's the mastermind behind all of this?
Well, all the evidence seems to point to a group known as UNC 5337.
UNC 5337.
They're suspected to be a Chinese espionage group with a history of targeting these ICS appliances. This isn't just a random group of
It's
hackers,
a nation-state actor.
which significantly changes the game.
That does ramp up the tension quite a bit. It's like the difference between someone picking your lock and realizing it's a whole team of professional spies. So for our listeners who might be sweating a little bit right now,
I can imagine.
yeah, what can they do to protect themselves?
Well, the first and most crucial step is to patch your systems immediately.
Like right now.
Right now, if you're using Ivanti Connect Secure, go to their website, download the latest updates. Don't wait. Every second counts.
Yeah. Procrastination is definitely not your friend in this situation.
Definitely not.
Ivanti also has this tool called the Integrity Checker Tool, or ICT.
ICT?
What can you tell us about that?
It's a great way to check if your system has already been compromised. It scans your files and looks for signs of tampering, like a digital detective dusting for fingerprints.
So like a post-burglary check.
Exactly, just to see if anything's missing or out of place.
Okay, so let's say worst case scenario. You find out your system has been compromised.
Oh no.
Then what?
Well, in that unfortunate event, Ivanti recommends a full factory reset.
I know it sounds drastic,
It does.
but sometimes you just need to wipe the slate clean and start fresh.
You do. It's like hitting the reset button on your computer, but for your entire network appliance.
A digital detox for your network.
Exactly. Not ideal, but definitely better than letting intruders stay in your system.
For sure. So, to recap, zero-day exploits are scary. Staying updated is absolutely critical, and even major companies can be targets.
It's true.
This brings up a big question for our listeners. How can we stay ahead of these threats in a world where technology is constantly changing?
That's the million-dollar question. It's an
Yeah.
ongoing arms race, you know. I think the key is awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah, understanding the risks, staying informed about new threats, and always being proactive about your security.
I couldn't agree more. And we want to hear from you.
Our listeners.
Yeah, what are your biggest cybersecurity anxieties? What steps are you taking to stay safe in this digital jungle? Share your thoughts on social media. Use the hashtag VulnVibes. Let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay vigilant and stay safe out there.